The amount I've endured for this video is honestly unparalleled, but hey, I signed up for this, so let's go. There are two types of categories when it comes to Bollywood directors that create intentionally over the top comedies. The key word being intentionally. The one successful and tolerable one includes creators like Farah Khan and Rohit Shetty. These worlds provide an homage to vintage Hindi cinema, and the other knows its action scenes are bizarre but provided with his brand of humor and adaptation skills of already proven products, it just hits the perfect spot for mass audiences. Then falls the other category that includes directors like Prabhudeva and Milap Zaveri, where the treatment of the film ranges from being crass, uncomfortable, coupled with horrible writing, and over the top to the point of completely disconnecting you from the story. Milap Zaveri films, especially in the last few years, that have hidden under the guise of mass and an homage to creators like Manmohan Desai and Prakash Mehra, are just getting irritating at this point. So much so that the legendary directors themselves of the 80s would reject such gifts of movies as dedications to their craft. Where we saw John Abraham in 2018 take law and order into his own hands by killing corrupt police officers, leading to a face-off between him and Manoj Bajpayee, and a heartbreaking origin story being unearthed, we are back to the same kind of universe. It's just that it takes action, deshbhakti and bizarre to a whole new level. Oh yeah, just like most sequels in Bollywood, this new film has nothing to do with the first installment. Milap Zaveri was asked about the number of John Abrahams that exist in this universe, and he said that if he had the chance, he would have made every character be played by John. So with Satyameva Jayate 2, we are transported to the John Abraham multiverse, a universe so complex that it will put any complicated narrative to shame. The trailer seemed as tough to dissect as a Nolan trailer, so I'll do you guys a favor and try to explain to you what it focuses on. Satya Azad, played by John, is a home minister who is attempting to pass an anti-corruption bill, but of course to no avail. Hilariously, his wife, played by Divya, is a part of the opposition that methodically separates politics and her personal relationship, in the sense that she opposes the bill in parliament but tells her that I love you at home. When the politician realizes that the corruption will not end through democratic processes, he becomes a vigilante at night, killing individuals that indulge in corrupt practices. While Anup Soni is initially hired to catch the man taking law and order into his own hands, they need a chaktan for a case like this and enters John's twin brother Jay. The process of catching the vigilante, the dynamic between the brothers, the question on whether the two brothers eventually have a clash with one another, their origin story and the work done by their farmer father, also played by John, who worked against the corrupt systems of the country, basically forms the nauseating and headache-inducing storyline of Satyameva Jayate 2. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch the movie in theaters or not. The good. B. Prague single and a few moments. There is only one beautiful song in this entire film, and that just has to be the tune of Jan Gan Man that is sung by B. Prague, and the reprised version is sung by Arco. I think the creators realized that this is the only song that really works for the film, so it plays in several instances. It especially works when the father John's origin story is showcased and his protest and march towards the politician's establishment commences. B. Prague, honestly, when it comes to heartbreak and any kind of national sentiment, always hits it out of the park with his songs. There are only a few fleeting moments of genuine emotion in this film where it actually seems like someone is trying. A character played by Sharad Randhawa, who joins the anti-corruption movement, has a scene portrayed beautifully as he helps a character get to a hospital. One of the only scenes that may rile up some kind of emotion within the audience. I have to say that I did not laugh at a single scene in this film, but the only clever moments include where there are self-aware meta references, which include probably only two: Anup Soni delivering his iconic dialogue "Savdhan rahe" and "Satark rahe," और laughter being referenced by a character as ऐसा लग रहा है कि किसी सुपरहिट फिल्म का सीक्वल चल रहा है. After that dialogue, I realized that Milap Zaveri अपना सबसे loyal fan है. Physical ability of John Abraham and Nora Fatehi. I am reaching at this point, I know. The performances of this film are subpar and poor in every shape and form. Most of the cast is constantly shouting at the top of their lungs, and there is nothing convincing about it. If there is any motivation that this film may generate within you to watch it and go to the theatre, it is to look at the chiseled body of John Abraham and the dancing skills of Nora Fatehi. It is commendable that John has still got it physically, and he looks and possesses the brute strength required for this role. While I am not a fan of the song Kusu Kusu, Nora Fatehi and her belly dancing skills are something to marvel at. She has become a constant in the John cinematic universe where she will dance and John will mysteriously seek for someone, but as a standalone dance piece, she has absolutely killed it. तीसमार खान लोगों ने शीला की जवानी के लिए देखा था, ये भी ऐसे ही कुछ केस है. The underwhelming aspects. Chest thumping but uncreative dialogues. I cannot further enunciate this, but the dialogues of this film are cringe-worthy in its entirety. They are simply bottom of the barrel rhyming lines और बीच में कुछ भी अनाप शनाप बोल देते हैं. मास का ये मतलब नहीं है कि तुम convincing dialogues भी ना लिखो. The politician John is giving a speech in parliament about the problem of corruption in the country, and two of his lines from his long speech include भाड़ में गया corruption, अरे upload तो हुआ Instagram है, मेरा देश महान है, and this leads to the entire assembly rumbling with applause. Anup Soni is handed over the case and his first statement is, अगर मैंने उसे नहीं पकड़ा तो मैं अपनी कलाइयों पे चूड़ियां पहन लूंगा. ये डायलॉग और इसका तुक मुझे आज तक समझ नहीं आया है. The worst of the lot probably being when the police officer John beating up a bad guy, he holds the goon's jewels and says, "जिंदगी भर पीछे से मुतेगा क्योंकि आगे का टूटेगा." He ends this scene by hoisting the national flag on his genitals, by the way. I also wondered about the dialogue that is being circulated the most, that goes, "माँ की कोख से क्या, बाप की तोप से भी निकलने से डरेगा." So this is a penis reference, right? Like it being compared to a taupe. Okay, yeah, I'm just clarifying. The most uncreative line of the film has to go to John saying, "जो औरत की इज्जत ना करे वो मर्द मुर्गा है." So you basically just said, "You chicken," because you don't respect. Wow, how creative. Too many themes. In defense of the first film and why it was much more tolerable than this movie, actually superior to the point where it's not even comparable, goes to two reasons in my opinion. Number one is the existence of an actor like Manoj Bajpayee. He makes a massy film also enjoyable. When you look at talented actors like Nawazuddin Siddiqui in Kick or Prakash Raj in the first Singham, these antagonists make the commercial pitch of the film somewhat enjoyable. And number two was that the film primarily focused on corrupt practices within the police force. Hence, it didn't scatter all over the place in covering several topics. Satyameva Jayate too does not have a great rival as an antagonist and wants to talk about everything. It wants to shed light on the lack of facilities in public hospitals, the role of doctors, the importance of communal harmony, the massive inequalities of income in the country, the sorry state of women, with references to the gruesome cases of Nirbhaya and Unnao. It spreads itself too thin even from a storytelling point of view, making you jump from one issue to the other with every character giving you gyan about Bharat Mata, Desh and his mitti ke bete aur betiyon ka farz. The main theme of this film is if you can't change the system, then take matters into your own hands, and if someone opposes this, unhe Desh Bhakti ka lecture de do. The amount of patriotism that is force-fed in this film is alarming, almost to the point of repeating the same thing again and again. Characters actually have a competition of who is more of a Deshbhakt while threatening one another. जिंदगी में कुछ भी गलत किया ना तो vigilante John will come for you. तो red light भी cross करने की कोशिश की ना? Beware of a John in a hoodie appearing at night to teach you a lesson. Over-the-top action. When you threw sheer brute strength in the first installment, tore up a tire, I accepted. When you banged on a table and like Moses in the Red Sea broke it in two perfect halves, I accepted. When you merely shouted and goons were taken aback, I accepted. When you raised a motorcycle with a rider on it and threw it like a fly, I accepted. When you ripped out the engine of a car with your bare hands, I accepted. But I'm sorry, John. And this is a spoiler of an action scene, but guys, it honestly makes no difference with this film. They stop a helicopter from flying with their bare hands by pulling it down like Captain America. Ho kya raha hai bhai? The action is absurd even from a massy perspective, so much so that it will make you laugh rather than be invested in the mardhad. Acting. As I previously said, everyone is shouting at the top of their lungs. John attempts to be playful with his police role and a bit restrained with his political role, but it just doesn't offer anything new or impressive. John is a very bright man and I have followed his career since the early 2000s. I have absolutely loved his choices. I have thoroughly enjoyed his commercial stints with films like Parmanu, Madras Cafe and Rocky Handsome, as these films possessed clever screenplays done with a sense of authenticity and realism. This commercial trap of massy, cringy cinema, and to see John consistently do it just breaks my heart because it doesn't do anything other than rake in a good check, and fair enough. Probably that is his only intention. Other than his physicality, his performance is passable at best. Divya Khosla Kumar is in Yaad Piya Ki Aane Lagi Hai hangover mode. She in almost every scene looks into the distance wide-eyed, having this stoic demeanor that looks more wooden than emotive. Especially see her in the Durga Puja scene. It's almost as if she never blinks, having the same stern expression throughout the film's running minutes. At one point of time, John in this film pretends to be his brother to cover up for him during Karwa Chauth, and he says a dialogue like "Bhabhi ne kissi de di, ghor paap," dialogues I never imagined John to ever say. Someone rightly pointed out that this film has developed a new genre of film, and that can be termed as patriotic comedy. I'm honestly done. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.